the shocking food that destroys hormones in women with polycystic ovary syndrome. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and felt like you were looking at a stranger, trapped in a body that refuses to cooperate? Are you profoundly weary of the relentless battle? The constant shadow of symptoms that dictate your life. The exhaustion runs deeper than just physical tiredness. It is the soul-deep fatigue of fighting a war that nobody else can see. It is the crushing weight of unpredictable cycles that make you feel like your womanhood is broken. The stubborn fat that clings to you like a cruel joke despite your most disciplined efforts. The painful, cystic acne that erupts with a vengeance, making you shrink from the world, and the turbulent emotional storms that hijack your mind, leaving you feeling isolated and profoundly misunderstood. I want you to hear this and truly let it sink in. You are not imagining this pain. You are not overreacting. And you are so far from being alone in this silent struggle. The feeling of being completely disconnected from your own body, of being betrayed by your own biology, is a shared and painful secret for countless women navigating the confusing labyrinth of polycystic ovary syndrome. But what if the compass you have been so desperately searching for, the key to finding your way back to yourself, was not some complex medical secret, but something hidden in the most ordinary of places, masquerading as a non-negotiable part of a healthy diet? The most incredible news, the real beginning of your healing journey, starts not with more restriction, but with a powerful, illuminating understanding. Reclaiming your body from the chaos of polycystic ovary syndrome is not about a war of deprivation or following impossible rules. It is about becoming a skilled detective, learning to identify the precise triggers that are pouring fuel on your hormonal fire. This empowering knowledge allows you to make strategic, almost effortless changes that ripple outward, creating waves of positive and lasting transformation. It is how you begin to win back your vibrant energy, your unwavering confidence, and the deep, peaceful sense of well-being that you deserve. In our time together today, we are going to do something radical. We are going to expose a single, ubiquitous food that a growing body of evidence and a chorus of women's stories point to as a primary saboteur of hormonal harmony in the polycystic ovary syndrome body. This is not a session of fear or blame. It is an offering of critical information, a piece of the puzzle you have been missing, that could fundamentally reshape your health, your body, and your future. So I urge you to stay with me, to be open, because the insights we are about to uncover are far too important to miss, and they transcend all the generic tired advice you have already heard. Before we dive deep, I feel it is so important to connect with one another. I would be so grateful if you would share where you are watching from today in the comments below. Your presence here matters, and creating a space where we can share and learn from each other is the heart of this community. And if you feel that pull, that readiness to finally take the driver's seat on your health journey, then please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, so you never miss another piece of the puzzle that can help you heal. Now, let us begin the essential work of unraveling the mystery that has been holding your health hostage. Before we can identify the culprit, we must first create a sacred space of profound self-compassion. If you are a woman living with polycystic ovary syndrome, your journey has likely been paved with frustration, dismissal, and a painful sense of isolation. You may have been handed diagnoses with little explanation, or worse, been told that your very real suffering was a product of your imagination, a lack of willpower, or simply a consequence of needing to try harder to lose weight. A comment as unhelpful as it is cruel. The unvarnished truth is that polycystic ovary syndrome is an incredibly complex and nuanced metabolic, endocrine, and inflammatory condition, and it is in no way a reflection of your character or your effort. You did not cause this. Your body is not a broken machine. It is an intelligent, responsive system that is sending you clear signals of a deep internal imbalance. Our modern world, with its processed foods, chronic stress, and environmental toxins, has created a perfect storm for these imbalances to flourish. At the very epicenter of the polycystic ovary syndrome storm is a condition known as insulin resistance. Imagine for a moment that every cell in your body has a tiny, locked door. Insulin is the special key, crafted by your pancreas, that is meant to unlock these doors to allow glucose, the energy from your food, to enter and fuel your body. In a state of insulin resistance, those locks have become corroded and stubborn. The key no longer fits smoothly. In response to this, your pancreas panics. It thinks, the doors are not opening, so it does the only thing it knows how to do. It floods your system with an enormous surplus of keys, pumping out more and more insulin in a desperate attempt to force those doors open. This tsunami of insulin coursing through your veins is the central villain in our story. It travels to your ovaries and issues a direct command: make more androgens. This surge in male hormones, like testosterone, is the direct trigger for many of the most visible and distressing symptoms of polycystic ovary syndrome: the disrupted or completely absent menstrual cycles, the painful and persistent acne, the thinning of the hair on your head, and the growth of unwanted hair on your face and body. It is a devastating chain reaction, a cascade of hormonal chaos that all begins with those sticky, unresponsive cell doors. This is not a moral failing. It is a biological reality for tens of millions of women across the globe who are walking this same path, feeling these same frustrations. Knowing this connects you to a global sisterhood, and this realization is the first, most crucial step in releasing the heavy cloak of guilt and shame you may have been carrying for so long. Here, in this space, we are building a sanctuary of emotional safety, a place where you can finally exhale, release the fight, and become receptive to the gentle path of healing. By truly understanding this fundamental mechanism of insulin resistance, you transform from a passive recipient of your symptoms into an empowered scientist in your own life, ready to meticulously identify and remove the very things that have been corroding those locks. And the food we are poised to discuss is perhaps the most significant and insidious of them all. Not because it possesses an inherent evil, but because of a unique and devastating way it interacts with the finely tuned sensitivities of a polycystic ovary syndrome body. The food I'm referring to, the one so deeply embedded in our culture as a symbol of health and vitality, yet which may be the primary instigator of your hormonal turmoil, is dairy. I want you to let that sink in for a moment. Milk, cheese, yogurt, cream, butter. This revelation can feel jarring, even unbelievable, because from our earliest childhood, we have been indoctrinated with the belief that milk does a body good, that it is the ultimate source of bone-building calcium. For some individuals, this may hold true, but for a woman with a polycystic ovary syndrome system, consuming dairy can be akin to throwing a lit match into a room filled with gasoline. The fire of inflammation and insulin resistance that is already smoldering within you can be whipped into a raging inferno. The core of the problem with dairy is its extraordinary ability to provoke an insulin spike, a reaction that is often more potent and immediate than that caused by pure sugar. This reaction is driven by a combination of factors, primarily the milk sugar lactose, and more significantly, a protein within milk known as casein. But the most powerful offender is a growth hormone called insulin-like growth factor 1, or IGF-1. The purpose of cow's milk is singular and powerful: to rapidly transform a small calf into a massive 1,000-pound animal. The IGF-1 contained within it is the biological rocket fuel for this explosive growth. The critical issue is that bovine IGF-1 is structurally identical to human IGF-1. When you consume dairy products, you are flooding your system with a powerful, external source of this growth hormone, adding it on top of what your own body produces. For a woman with polycystic ovary syndrome, whose system is already exquisitely sensitive to hormonal signals, this is a recipe for disaster. The combination of this IGF-1 surge and the sharp insulin spike from dairy's components creates a perfect storm that signals your ovaries to go into overdrive, dramatically increasing the production of androgens. It is a direct biochemical command to amplify the very hormones that are orchestrating your most painful symptoms. Can the simple act of removing this one food group from your diet truly initiate a profound shift in your polycystic ovary syndrome journey? For an overwhelming number of women who have taken this step, the answer is an emphatic, life-altering yes. This is not about counting calories or starving yourself. It is about surgically removing a potent hormonal trigger. When you cease sending this relentless signal to your body to overproduce insulin and androgens, you create a space of quiet. You give your overwrought system a chance to finally rest, to recalibrate, and to find its way back to a state of balance. The practical application of this knowledge is a journey of mindful substitution. It begins by trading your cow's milk for delicious, unsweetened plant-based alternatives like almond, coconut, or even macadamia milk. It means exploring the growing world of yogurts and cheeses made from nuts and seeds. It also means becoming a vigilant label reader, as dairy often hides in unexpected places like protein powders, salad dressings, canned soups, and bread. The initial adjustment period requires patience, but the potential rewards are immeasurable. The gradual clearing of your skin, the return of a predictable menstrual cycle, a noticeable lift in your energy levels, and a renewed sense of agency over your own physical being. This is not a path of deprivation, it is an empowering upgrade. But eliminating the primary trigger is only the first part of the story. The reason dairy wields such power is intricately linked to the health of your gut, the very foundation of your immune system and hormonal regulation. What we are about to explore next is even more foundational, for it addresses the internal environment where your healing will truly take root. Before we go any further, I need to ask you something deeply personal. How many times have you cried in frustration, feeling utterly and completely alone in your struggle, convinced that no one in your world could ever truly grasp the depth of what you experience every single day? The silent suffering, the brave face you put on for the world while inside you feel like you are crumbling. I know that pain. I understand that ache of isolation. And I need you to know, with every fiber of my being, that you are not walking this path by yourself. This journey is too heavy to carry alone. If this feeling resonates with you, if you have ever felt that profound sense of being alone in your fight, I would be so honored if you would leave a comment below with these 5 simple words. I understand this struggle. Please, write it just like that. Your simple act of bearing witness, of acknowledging this shared pain, might just be the single most important thing another woman reads today. It could be the lifeline she needs to keep going, the knowledge that she is seen, heard, and understood by a community that gets it. Your vulnerability is an act of profound strength. Let us now explore another powerful ally in your journey, a simple, fragrant herb that has been shown to have remarkable benefits for women with polycystic ovary syndrome, spearmint, specifically spearmint tea. While cinnamon works on the metabolic side of things by improving insulin sensitivity, spearmint works directly on the hormonal side by exhibiting anti-androgenic properties. This means it can help to lower the levels of those elevated male hormones, like testosterone, that are driving symptoms like hirsutism, unwanted hair growth, acne, and hair loss. Can drinking a simple herbal tea a couple of times a day really make a difference in these stubborn and emotionally devastating symptoms? The scientific evidence is surprisingly strong. Several clinical studies conducted on women with polycystic ovary syndrome have demonstrated that daily consumption of spearmint tea can significantly reduce free and total testosterone levels. Participants in these studies also self-reported improvements in their hirsutism. It works by inhibiting testosterone and encouraging the production of hormones that are often low in women with polycystic ovary syndrome, like luteinizing hormone, LH, and follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH. It is a gentle, natural way to nudge your hormones back towards a more feminine and balanced state. Integrating spearmint tea into your daily ritual is a simple and soothing practice. The recommendation from most studies is to drink 2 cups of spearmint tea per day.
It is important to use true spearmint, Mentha spicata, not peppermint, as they have different properties. You can enjoy it hot or brew a large batch and keep it in the refrigerator for a refreshing iced tea. This small, consistent habit is a powerful act of self-love. With each warm sip, you can visualize it soothing your system, calming the hormonal chaos, and restoring a gentle balance from within.
It is a beautiful complement to the dietary changes we have discussed, creating a multifaceted approach to healing. But to make all of these changes truly effective and sustainable, we must address the ultimate foundation of our health. We must ensure that our bodies are even capable of absorbing these nutrients and healing. This brings us to the most crucial, and often most neglected, piece of the polycystic ovary syndrome puzzle. If you have remained with me on this journey, it speaks volumes about your courage and your unwavering desire to heal. It tells me that you are no longer willing to be a passive bystander in your own life. You are actively seeking the knowledge and the tools to reclaim your vitality, and that is the most powerful first step you can possibly take. This channel, this community, was born from a deep desire to be the resource I wish I had when I was lost in the confusion of my own health struggles. It exists to be a guiding light, to help you decipher the whispers and the cries of your body, to empower you to take back the reins, and to connect you with real, tangible solutions that bring about genuine change. Please remember that you are infinitely more than a diagnosis on a chart. You are a vibrant, multifaceted woman who deserves to feel at home in her own skin. And in this community, you are never alone. We are consciously weaving together a tapestry of support, a safe harbor where women like you can find scientifically sound information, the comfort of shared stories, and the collective strength that fuels true and lasting healing. If this is the kind of empowering guidance and authentic connection you have been yearning for, I extend a heartfelt invitation to you to subscribe to our channel and to be sure you activate the notifications. Every video, every conversation we have, is another deliberate step on this shared path toward a life of hormonal harmony, radiant health, and boundless joy.